E voltamos para mais uma parte do jogo Thecnomancer. E agora outras missões estão surgindo. Cada vez mais missões surgem. Até onde eu tô vendo, o jogo está se provando bem longo, diferente do jogo anterior que foi muito curto. Vamos lá. Deixa eu ver o que tem pra fazer aqui agora.
Hello, Scott. My captain told me that she wanted to see you.
Is it related to you? Are you sick?
No. Not that I know of. She didn't tell me why.
Oh, well, should I take my pouch then? It's an important question. I should still take it though, but it's a little heavy. Alright, I'm leaving without it.
Tive que mentir pro cara pra poder vasculhar o aposento dele e ver se eu encontro alguma coisa de útil pra aquela garota.
I think I have a problem with going through your friend's things. I hope whatever you're looking for, it's worth it.
I'm trying to find information about the past. It's personal, okay?
Hello, Mancer.
Hello. I found some of your father's letters.
I knew it. Tell me.
Most of the correspondence was friendly. They were very close. However, there was some tension between them over time. Some letters gloss over an expedition that they had done together, but what surprised me the most is when your father talks about a boy who was actually Scott's son. The last letter I found is a bit bizarre. I didn't really understand what he meant.
What did he mean? Do you remember?
Your dad begged Scott to stop the madness, warning that his wife's divorce was only the beginning of what he would lose if he couldn't face the truth. That it was too late for his son. He seemed to think Scott was on the verge of self-destruction.
It's true that it's rather mysterious. Scott, a son. Did you know?
No, he never told me about him. He obviously lost him. No doubt it's still a touchy subject.
We have to find out what this is all about. You have to ask his wife. Did my father really mean to interfere in his family drama? Maybe that's why he disappeared? Please, Zechariah!
Agora é a gente que vai entrar nesse drama.
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
Listen, I think Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research, and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better, and maybe even find your old friend.
Scott's belief that science could solve anything made him lose any time with his son, and that eventually drove him crazy. Take your research elsewhere. Let me return to my peace.
I'm not here to make you relive your pain. And I'm sorry if that's what it looks like, but I'm here for Mark's daughter. She sent me to try to figure out what happened to her father.
I'm sorry that young woman's suffering the pain of loss, too. But I can't drown in mine anymore. I won't. Won't talk about it again.
Mas que mulher difícil, pelo amor de Deus.
Listen, you help me, I can help you. Just looking for some give and take. I'll start. Take this.
You want to drudge up my pain again? For a little serum? What's worse is, I'm gonna let you. I'm desperate. And you're taking advantage. The son Scott and I had was everything to me. The only thing I had while Scott worked and worked. Just doling out all his love into his research. Not for some greater good, but for his own ego. All he cared about was being seen as a hero in abundance. And all the while, his son was mutating. When Scott finally realized it, it was too much for him. He snapped. Wanted us to hide our kid. Then threw himself even deeper into his damned work. Mark was one of our friends. When he found out what was happening, he tried to make my stupid genius of a husband leave his research. Scott knew better, though, of course. And our son got arrested and taken away with the other mutants. Scott just kept going. So convinced he could find a cure. So convinced he even finally managed to get Mark to buy into it all. And the two went away for a long time. I don't know where. I just knew I was done. So I filed for divorce. And he came back empty-handed and to an empty home. Later, I heard Mark disappeared too. He was probably looking for a cure to satisfy Scott's inability to just let it go. But I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I lost my son and my husband. And now I take petty sums of serum to relive it all again. Please. Please, just leave me alone now.
Que trágico. Todo mundo sumiu. Por que só eu acho que o Scott tem uma pintada de suspeita nisso?
Hello, Mancer.
Hello. I talked to Scott's ex-wife.
So, what did she say?
It's an awful story. Her son. Anyway, their son was struck by mutation. They took him away from them, of course, but it made Scott go crazy, and he was convinced that he could find a remedy. He asked for your father's help, so they left together, and were gone for a long time. Their exploration apparently didn't lead to anything concrete for the boy, and Scott descended into madness. And then one day, Mark left. His ex thinks that it was to bring back something useful for his research, and he never came back.
Shit. So my father's disappearance is related to that poor kid? It's really awful what they must have gone through. That explains a lot about why he's so crazy, and also why he behaves as if we were his kids. Thank you, Zach. That doesn't answer all of my questions, far from it, but I have a better grasp of what happened. My father disappeared by helping his best friend, who was going through a rough patch and wanted to heal his child. It's a sad but beautiful story, isn't it? I'm gonna think about all this. Thank you again.
You're not like other girls, are you?
Is that supposed to be a compliment? Or are you being a wise ass?
You took on a tough job. Driving places you don't know, taking soldiers on missions, scouting the front lines.
It's easy to do anything when you love what you do. I love not being stuck under a roof. Getting out there, you know? You call it tough, I call it lucky.
Exactly why I said you're different. Average person, girl or guy, lives on the safe side. They may not love the city, but they know it, so they stay there.
Life's what you make of it, and I want to make it an adventure. So if you're looking for some dangerous escapades, I know a girl.
Think I may just take her up on that.
E a missão continua. Agora só tenho que cair fora daqui, lá pra cima, subir tudo de novo.
Hey there, Fiorello.
Ah, the one, the only, Thecnomancer. A pleasure as always. What brings you here this fine day?
I need your help.
And I haven't forgotten I owe you. I'm happy to help wherever I can.
Glad to hear it. I'd like you to take this young woman with you. Her name's Sarah.
Of course, I'd be happy to. If she wants to leave, I'm sure her reasons are more than valid, so I won't pry. You can count on me.
Thank you.
Pronto, agora a garota está em boas mãos, eu acho. E agora aqui é onde eu vou entregar a relíquia que eu peguei naquela missão.
How are you, Zachariah?
I'm fine. And you?
Good. How may I be of service?
Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
I've returned, Great Master, with the relic from the Aurora evacuation. It's a tablet filled with text, and I don't have a clue how to decipher it.
A glorious day. You have no idea what this means, Zachariah. The language is indeed difficult, and most no longer have the knowledge or ability to understand it. Most, but not me. I will begin deciphering immediately. We will know soon enough the vast wealth of secrets it holds. Jean was certainly right in his appraisal of you. Your worth has already proven to be infinitely valuable. A word of warning, Zachariah. Words spreading about your missions. Things you've been able to accomplish, filled with troubling details that imply you have a mole in your midst. If there is an ASC spy amongst your ranks, he will not only know our secret, but eventually share it back to his master. We will, in no uncertain terms, be lost. All will be lost. So take care. And take care of it. Sooner rather than later.
Thank you for the warning. I assure you, I will get to the root of this. I wanted to talk to you about something.
What about?
We're looking for a scientist who disappeared. Name's Charles Seeker. All I found is some of his research. Seems he was studying Thecnomancers before getting arrested and sent to a camp.
Charles Seeker. Yes, the geneticist. Geneticists pose a risk. Scientific discoveries are always threatening to expose our secrets. Your friend Scott even worked on the same research years ago. Never found out what Scott did or didn't discover, though. He ended up drinking himself into irrelevance. So I stopped worrying. Whatever research you found, make sure no one sees it. Could be our downfall.
Are you so sure that it's a spy?
Indeed. The details of your mission were so specific that they were assuredly gained firsthand. So unless you are spreading the information yourself, who else is left but Captain Eliza and your men? Whoever it is, make sure they see nothing else. Ensure that our secret is kept safe.
Espião junto comigo? Quem deveria ser? É provável que se tiver um espião escondido entre a minha unidade, ele pode delatar tudo o que eu andei fazendo. Isso não é nada bom. Uma nova luva.
You already back, Lieutenant Zachariah?
Captain, all Aurora tunnels were destroyed. If they're gonna get back into the city, they'll have to come up with another way.
I knew you wouldn't let me down, Lieutenant. Find Ryan and get your pay. It was well earned.
Mutants are back to work, Captain.
Well done, Lieutenant. Now go see Ryan and get paid. Colonel Ian Mancer came by looking for you. Hope this isn't going to be a habit, Lieutenant. His problems aren't yours anymore. You're part of my unit now. We clear?
Of course. I'll go see him on my own time, not yours, Captain. Hi.
Lieutenant, how can I help you?
Captain Eliza told me to come find you for my pay.
Indeed, I've been expecting you. Here you go.
pra fazer aqui agora?
Lieutenant?
Algo diz que eu devo descansar aqui na cama, mas não tenho ideia do que é pra fazer.
Find that spy. Maybe I should ask around.
Ah, tinha que tirar alguém do time. Tá de sacanagem, né? Pelo que eu tô lendo, os meus companheiros são todos suspeitos de espião, de espionagem.
Colonel Ian Mancer came by looking for you. Hope this isn't going to be a habit, Lieutenant. His problems aren't yours anymore. You're part of my unit now. We clear?
Of course. I'll go see him on my own time, not yours, Captain. Have a moment, Captain?
Depends what you need it for.
Just want to get to know you better, Captain.
I don't usually mix business and pleasure, Lieutenant, but ask away and we'll see which questions I feel like answering.
You from Ophir?
Born and raised. Father was an officer. Mother was a quartermaster. And I've rarely ventured outside the walls for a few scattered missions. Sound familiar, Lieutenant?
Very familiar, Captain. Except my parents weren't officers.
Which makes your rise even more noble, Lieutenant.
How was your rise to Captain earned?
Over time. But by no special action by me. Graduated as a corporal, and thanks to the brave men underneath me, their success in missions became mine in rank. No heroic feats to dazzle you with in stories. Just a lot of time and dedication that I'm proud of just the same.
What do you think of us?
Honestly, Lieutenant? I'm not quite sure yet. You Thecnomancers are new to me. Undoubtedly special, and capable of feats my other units couldn't dream of accomplishing, but time will tell. That said, I've been quite impressed. I thought it was the definition of insanity to send you and so few of your men on some of those missions. Missions I would have anticipated needing 10 times the manpower for. So far, you've proven me wrong. A rare feat in itself. So even though it's taking some time getting used to, I couldn't be happier you're one of my troops.
Can I ask about your relationship with ASC?
Tread carefully, Lieutenant. One might start to wonder the purpose of your questions. But here's my answer. We're all forced to work with them, but it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. Too much power too quickly leads to arrogance. Brash and too quick to act. And quite frankly, as they've risen in power, it's no coincidence that the dissenters, deviants, and rebels have risen in numbers. They're a great source of intel, however they get it. I sleep better at night not knowing the means. But I've always thought the army was strength enough, that the ASC was overkill. I trust you won't repeat anything I've said, Lieutenant. I'd hate for both of us to find ourselves enemies of the state over a little frank conversation.
My lips are sealed, Captain, and I appreciate your candor and trust, more than you know. Everything's clean in here. It's just like the captain's work. Nothing that implies she's working with the ASC.
Quer dizer que a capitã está descartada, ela não é espiã.
At your command, Lieutenant.
Have a second to talk?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. Like, just you and me, or...
Yeah, just you and me. I like to know my men.
Wow, that's... yeah, that'd be a huge honor, Lieutenant.
So what's your life like when you're not on duty?
Tell you the truth, Lieutenant, not much to tell. I try to visit the city, make some friends, you know, because I don't really know too many folks yet. And my whole family's back in Greenhope, which is kind of too far to travel for my leave. And, oh yeah, there's also, you know, I try to still do some hunting. Though there's not much more than small critters in the underworks, not a great hobby for the city.
You have a good childhood?
Oh yeah, you know it, Lieutenant. Really nice growing up, running around in the fields. Father gave me a crossbow, and I spent my time helping the farmers shoot critters hurting their crops. They were good times, Lieutenant, but everybody's got to grow up and move on. There was a lot of hunters in Greenhope, too. Plus, I always dreamed of being a soldier. Mostly, though, because there was a girl back home who loved men in uniform, so... Off I went to the big city to join up. And, you know, since I was a sharpshooter, they signed me up and sent me here. Still not used to it. All the buildings, all the folks, and all the concrete. But I'm happy, though.
Feels like a Greenhope souvenir stand. Kid must be missing home. Unless being messy's a crime, though. Doesn't look like he's
Ele
doing
também não é um
anything
espião. Porque eu tenho a impressão de que eu tô esquecendo alguma coisa aqui.
Maybe I should take this opportunity to look into this spy. Or we can take a little rest.
Lieutenant?
I want to know my men better. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Oh, great. Show and tell. Yay.
What do you do when you're off duty?
Nothing special. See my folks, I guess. They ain't getting any younger, so... And I give most of my paycheck to them, because I'm the only one they got left. My sister died. And I ain't married, so... When I ain't with them, I'm at the bar, drowning the shitstorm that my life's become. Not exactly a picture-perfect life, but it's mine. And hell, I get paid enough to help them out and buy my own drinks, so... What's there to complain about?
What do you think about Jeffrey Hunter?
He's a village idiot who thinks he can brown-nose his way to a promotion. Fucking reject. And no, he ain't my friend, if you haven't pieced that together.
I'm gonna leave you alone. Seems you'd rather be that way anyway.
Bom, galera, eu vou ficando nessa, mas em breve eu tô de volta.